閉ざされた空、その鍵を壊せばそう握られた刃はまだ持て余されて加速する共鳴が言霊を脈打たせてくあなたへと注がれた光の雨、瞳に映ったこの世界を守るため決意を新たに変えつなぎ絶やさないよ立ち向かうそれは全人にきらめくがごとき流星心燃やしが Just set fire 最後が決められるのならば勇気を持って踏み出した意志貫いたままで運命を落とす定めあらぶる流れに任せて戦えば注がれた光の雨、瞳に映ったこの世界を守るため決意を新たに変え届くには小さな手なのだとしても一陣の光となり駆け抜けろ心燃やしが Just set fire 呼びかけない得体の知れない恐怖が目の前に迫る負けの揺らがない信じてる暗闇の中踏破できるはず注がれた光の雨、瞳に映ったこの世界を守るため決意を新たに変えつなぎ絶やさないよ立ち向かうそれは全人にきらめくがごとき流星一陣の光となり駆け抜けろ可能性へきらむ僕ら心燃やしが Just set fire We are here 生きてるだけで刃の上を歩むそんな毎日がお前は誰だ問いかけてくる冬は肉はえぐり
Welcome back to the Cryptoverse, everyone. My name is Ben, Chief Communication Marketing Officer for ChainGuardians, ChainBoost. Today I'm joined by Dan, CMO for NetVrk, which is the reason why we're here today. Dan, welcome to the Cryptoverse. Thank you
Hello.
for being here.
How are you doing, Ben? Good to see you.
Hey, man, I'm doing well. It's been, man, I have so many things I want to talk to you about today. NetVrk is changing the landscape. I know it, you know it, viewers know it. So talk to me a little bit about kind of what users can expect from NetVrk and this kind of this revolutionizing type of campaign. But before we get into that, just give yourself a very brief introduction, what your experience is in blockchain, and then we'll just go from there.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Ben. I'm glad to be here with the community. And basically, I'm Dan Kennedy. I work for NetVrk and very excited about what we're building in the Metaverse. And yeah, my background is mostly in the traditional world in real estate. But I've been involved in crypto since around 2016. And since then, I've just been very, very focused on where the crypto space is going, where it's headed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just amazing, like all the advancement that's been made in the last several years.
Yeah, it's nuts, dude. 2016 is a good time frame to have gotten into crypto, as you know, a little bit of turbulence shortly thereafter. However, you are definitely considered an early adopter, and I think it goes without being said. It's super fitting that your background's in real estate, and here you are selling virtual land now, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And I can preach the advantages of virtual land over traditional land, traditional real estate. So yeah, that's
Good.
a whole conversation, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, good man. We'll definitely get there in due time. So, as our community knows, we always do some type of community oriented events. Today we have a red envelope coming at you, sponsored by ChainGuardians. Later in the show, when we get to the community Q&A section, as we're going through the live stream, start thinking of some amazing questions you want to ask Dan. NetVrk is an amazing hot topic right now. A lot of different things you can look at in terms of what's going on in that purview. So, with that being said, we'll hit you with a red envelope through ChainGuardians right now, and then shortly thereafter, the questions we answer at the end will be subject to some NetVrk-oriented prizes. I think you guys are doing $100 worth of... oh, my note taker wants to join. We'll just say no to my note taker today. You guys are doing what, $100 worth of NetVrk tokens distributed amongst 5 people, yeah?
That's it. Yes.
Awesome. Love to hear it, man. Sweet. So go get your red envelopes and stay tuned. Start thinking of some different questions for Dan later, because there's a lot of different juicy questions that you can touch on with NetVrk. So let's start basic. Bare
Excellent.
bones, Dan. Bare bones. What is NetVrk?
Yeah. So NetVrk is a metaverse. We're built on Unreal Engine. We're on the Ethereum blockchain. And we're seeking to create a true metaverse that allows people to do what they actually want to do in a metaverse. And in addition to just, gaming, we're also focused on business, e-commerce, as well as education. So we've really focused on, creating the infrastructure that allows all these great features that we want to implement
Okay.
to let people do the things they want to do in the metaverse, basically. And we're obviously inspired by such projects as Decentraland and the Sandbox,
Right.
and we feel they did a great job of introducing the concept of the metaverse to the public. And we're looking to take the next quantum leap and bring a real long-term vision to what is a metaverse and be actually done in a metaverse. So
Okay. Dude, that's dope. I mean, for people that are blockchain enthusiasts, we hear metaverse. We hear these type of play to earn functions and what you guys are doing, revolutionizing the space by having a social metaverse with virtual land and realizing the different things you do in game. But so often we get so driven by kind of that message. Can you talk a little bit about, conceptually speaking, what is a metaverse?
Right. So, I mean, that's a good question. And, it's open to a lot of interpretation. I don't think there's a right answer for that, actually. So you kind of have to go back in time, go to like before when Metaverse was first introduced as a concept in books, right? And then in movies. And there's a lot of interpretations of what the Metaverse is. But I think at the most fundamental level, it's connecting people, projects, companies, ideas, blockchains in one place. So, yeah, we like to stay true to that definition of metaverse.
Okay. Awesome. And I think it's kind of all underpinned by this concept of virtual land, at least within the purview of NetVrk. Is that correct, Dan?
Right. That's a big part of it.
Okay, awesome. So let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned Decentraland, Sandbox, and some of the other kind of the prominent competitors within this metaverse type of industry. Can you talk about what NetVrk does differently or aims to do differently than these competitors that's really going to differentiate the project from these other competitors?
Yeah, definitely. So basically the way I view them, I view the predecessors as proofs of work. They proved what a metaverse is. So we want a really fully functional metaverse. and in utilizing, the proper architecture, which Unreal Engine does a fantastic job of, we're able to actually do the scaling needed to achieve it. And we're also able to do it at a very high fidelity, so very rich graphics, very deep, interactive, engaging experiences, right? So we have the right framework to work in, and we're able to do the quantum leap versus what has been done so far.
I think that's it, Dan. I'm going to take just a real brief segment here. So much, it's kind of like a plague in crypto right now, where you have projects that promise things but don't do things. I'm excited because working with your team has made me realize that you guys are doing things, right? And that's a huge, huge thing right now in crypto and in blockchain in general. So to hear that the quantum leap is the goal, I in fact have full confidence that it will be a reality, right? And I think that you guys have the right puzzle pieces in place to be able to connect the vision with reality, which is so important right now.
Yes.
Awesome, Dan. So specifically highlighting value added, can you talk about your community-driven economics and models that are in place to really empower users through the NetVrk ecosystem?
Right. So specifically as it relates to the land sale, one of the most exciting things that we've unveiled so far relates to land ownership. And you have a lot of projects that do governance, right? They do governance through tokens, which is fine. We wanted to change it up. We wanted to do something different. So we tie our governance to land ownership. And if it sounds familiar, it is, in history, lots of countries tied governing to land ownership. So that's a big part of it is, you own land, you have a voice in the ecosystem, you have a voice in the metaverse, what happens in the network metaverse.
Right.
On top of that, we also have revenue sharing that's tied to land ownership, and it correlates to the size of the land. So the larger the land, the larger share of revenue you can enjoy from the network marketplace. So we really want people to feel like they're involved in the metaverse and not just bystanders, right? We want people to have a stake in it.
Yeah.
And by making people stakeholders, we can drive and have them participate and make this like a dynamic world. We don't want, what good is a metaverse where it's, a metaverse that's empty or, not interacted with. So by doing these things, tying governance to land, tying the revenue share to land, we feel like we have a good model that can be the foundation of a metaverse that really involves people.
Yeah, I think that's critical. Is so often people and projects in the space get focused on business development without understanding that business development really is only as good as the base supporting it, right? So when you create these player-driven models, these user-driven models, what you're doing is you're tapping into that stakeholder ownership of what you're doing, which creates these loyalists. I see a handful of loyalists in the chat here, and honestly, that's one thing that I'm overwhelming. This is about NetVrk today, but I do have to give a quick shout out to our community because we would not be where we are right now with our community. And so it's good to hear that you guys are creating and prioritizing a similar type of model in place there, Dan, really tapping into that stakeholder type of mentality, which is so critical. And that's obviously why we're here today, right? Is the NetVrk land sale. So ChainBoost is holding the land pre-sale through NetVrk or for NetVrk. And we have a maximum parcel limit of 1,000 with 1,000 users, and it's tiered into different rounds. So if you're interested, registration is closing soon. Head over to chainboost.io. You can go on our Twitter. You can check out the details of the actual pre-sale events. KYC is open to everyone. We've lifted country restrictions as we're selling NFTs, not tokens, so it's not technically an IDO pre-IDO. So everyone has the opportunity to buy this wonderful land that Dan's talking about. I know I see some people that are debating about whether or not to buy a larger tangible land or a larger non-fungible land. So hopefully we'll be able to provide some clarity and not financial advice throughout this as well.
Of course.
Dan, okay. So I think that for people like myself, you look at NetVrk and you start to conceptualize these really cool type of VR oriented land, virtual land, where you can do things and leverage NFTs to do different things on your land, shape what you want, and really define the vision of what you want on your land that you own in this virtual metaverse. So, with that said, that immediately reminds me of one of my recently favorite movies. I had to do some research as I was digging into metaverses. That brings me to my next question. What is your favorite movie? Why is it Ready Player One? And how are you guys paralleling with Ready Player One, and then differentiating yourself from that reality?
Yeah. I might shock you, but I've never seen the movie Ready Player One. I've only
You're
read
killing
the
me,
book.
Dan.
Yeah.
You've read the
I
book
believe
though.
the book. Yeah, so it's something about like sometimes you read the book and then you watch the movie and the movie ruins the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the book is usually more true to the true, story, the vision. So I've purposely not watched the movie, but I've read the book.
Oh, see,
So
that makes more sense. How'd you like the book, and why is
yeah.
it your favorite book? We'll change the question here just for you.
It's not my favorite book, but um,
Dan, you got to
kind
give
of
me
fun.
something to work with here, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, okay, let's do this. I love the concept that you can gain from reading Ready Player One, and I imagine from seeing the movie, right?
Yeah.
This interconnected future, and if you think about it, it wouldn't have been possible without all the technology we have today. So crypto, blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't have blockchain, we wouldn't be able to do this metaverse, right?
Right.
I don't think it's really debatable. And then you're talking about the ways computers have progressed lately, the level we're at right now with the basically photorealistic graphics you can achieve with Unreal Engine.
Mm-hmm.
We've just emerged into a time where certain things are possible that weren't possible 5 years ago.
Right.
So to be at that point where that vision of metaverse in Ready Player One actually can exist,
Yeah.
that's the most exciting thing to me.
I think so. I mean, you guys took a concept and you made it a reality. You're making it a reality right now, right? As
Right.
we've kind of seen, um, Decentraland and Sandbox do similar types of things, but as you discussed, there's very clear competencies for NetVrk. There's a clear
Yes.
roadmap outlined that's gonna further accentuate and elevate what the vision of Metaverse can add to the reality of what people want Metaverses to be. So, I guess
Exactly.
from there, Dan, can you talk a little bit about? There's a couple things. I know we went over a couple questions. I'm going to go off the script just briefly here. Can you talk to me a little bit about the different elements of play to earn within NetVrk? And that's critical right now because we see blockchain gaming, which is what ChainGuardians essentially is frameworked on, where our whole vision of ChainGuardians is being the go-to blockchain meets superhero video game ecosystem. Clearly, that's hot right now. People love video games. People love blockchain, and when you get the intersection between two hot markets, and you have passionate consumers and passionate people that love the concept of free to play, play to earn, or just play to earn, you have an abundant market. So, can you talk about what kind of economies are in place for the play to earn aspect of NetVrk?
100%. Yes. So play to earn is a big part of network. It's where most of our focus lies, right? Now, traditionally play to earn, people know, like, for instance, with Axie Infinity, you have a game, you're playing it, you're grinding, and in return, you're able to earn money, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's in the form of, tokens or NFTs. Different platforms have different models. So what we set out to do with Network is create a sandbox editor that allows anyone to create their own assets and also their own games and experiences. And if you watched the preview trailer, you can see this sandbox editor in action.
Hmm.
And so what it does, it allows anyone to build their own game without having to have all the prerequisite knowledge you would need to, say, code a game in Unity or Unreal Engine, which, you know, it requires hundreds, if not thousands of hours of learning basically to be proficient with those platforms.
Right.
So we created this real intuitive, easy to use, simple while retaining advanced features in this sandbox editor. So a person can create their own games and then monetize those games either by deploying it on their land or putting it on the marketplace. We have a native marketplace called NetVrk Marketplace,
Uh-huh.
and this will allow people to create games in the editor and then have it listed on the marketplace. And then other users can pay with NetVrk tokens to experience these games, either through the marketplace or through the land where it's featured if the person is a landowner. So it's kind of like it's like a meta play to earn concept, right? You're not just playing a game to earn, you're actually creating games as a content creator for other people to pay to play. And you know, that's a big important focus of ours. We don't want to be the content creator in the metaverse.
Hmm.
You know, first of all, it's impossible. Even if you had 10 large gaming studios trying to develop all the content to populate a metaverse, you still wouldn't be able to.
Right.
So the great example I use is television. With television, you've had like a handful of studios producing content. This went on for a long time. Then you had YouTube come out, and with YouTube, you basically overnight had millions of people suddenly became content creators. So in the same sense, we've given people, millions of people potentially, the ability to create these games and experiences using our sandbox editor and then to monetize those games. So you're going to have all these users creating content that's going to be in the metaverse, and it's going to be a fresh stream of content created and generating revenue for those creators, for the metaverse itself, and for other landowners, since they have a revenue share. So it's a pretty involved, but it's we feel it's the best model for content creation in such a big space, right? So we're pretty excited about that.
Dan, couple questions, because that's extremely ambitious. So let me break it down just a little bit to help me conceptualize. Maybe it might help other people conceptualize too. Are we talking
Yeah,
about
sure.
are we talking about a row of homes, a row of land essentially? And you can go from one parcel, which I'm going to use the example that Dockside put in here. You can go from one place that has like maybe a skate deck that's been like converted to some type of VR oriented gaming experience relative to skateboarding. And then you exit that land, go to the next parcel, and then you have like a DDR type of game. So you can literally go from game to game within NetVrk. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, and it's not relegated to just VR.
Right.
We started as VR only focused platform, but we've expanded. So anyone with a PC will be able to access NetVrk.
Yep.
VR will be supported. So
Sure.
VR works great for many things and can be used, but it's not required. And we will have mobile support in the future. But yeah, conceptually wise, you will have basically a street, as you said, with property next to property.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be a normal looking house. It could be as creative as you want it to be, and then people can go and experience all these games. And there's also an added layer of NFTs. That's not something we've talked about yet, but for the e-commerce side, we also have like the ability for people to create storefronts. So if you create a storefront and put that on your land, then you'll have the ability for people to go in the storefront, buy NFTs in the metaverse. You're not having to go out to a website to do this. This is all in platform.
Mm-hmm.
Buy the NFT, pay for the NFT in platform, get it in your wallet in platform. And that comes into play, with some of our longer term goals of actual e-commerce through NFTs, having product fulfillment tied into the NFT.
Hmm. That's important. I talk about it all the time with ChainGuardians, Dan, and I think it's important what you just brought up. It's critical because blockchain is not user friendly right now. We've all had those 50-hour conversations on Discord or whatever platform you use trying to figure out what is blockchain, what's layer one versus layer two, what is an NFT. Like these are difficult concepts for 99.9% of the world. As we're continuing towards mass adoption, whether that be in a metaverse or play to earn gaming or marketplace, so have you, these processes need to be extremely simplified. And part of the massive step of doing so is creating centralized elements on decentralized platforms. So what you've done, or what you're aiming to do, is centralize the NetVrk experience through kind of underpinned by a decentralized, platform. And that's critical because people don't want to go to OpenSea, or I shouldn't say OpenSea, but just any NFT marketplace. People don't want to go to an NFT marketplace to buy your assets. They want to go into your game. They want to buy their asset. They want to keep going. They don't want to have to click all these different things. They want it all in one place so that they can get one experience in one place. So think about World of Warcraft for a second. Dan, you ever play WoW?
To be honest, no.
Okay. Did you ever play RuneScape?
No.
Dan, are you a gamer?
I'm not a big RPG person.
Okay, all right.
I think RuneScape is an RPG. Like, okay, I'm more of like a Command and Conquer is more RTS. Real time strategy is more of, yeah.
Perfect.
That's more
So,
my forte. I love that. Yeah.
So think of it like this: like in an app store or any game, really in general, where there's like an auction house or some type of like purchasing platform. If you had to go to another website just to participate on in-game activities, likelihood of you sticking around is pretty low. I mean, don't get me wrong. I remember like trade worlds and RuneScape was a pain in the butt to deal with. Like there's definitely optimizations along the way. But what you guys are doing is making it very simple, very easy for users to get involved and engaged with what you're doing on your platform. So hats off to you, Dan. You're solving an issue. And by doing so, you're creating these different elements that's done directly through the NetVrk protocol. So props to you, hats off, because that's something that people aren't focused on. I discussed it a little bit earlier in the show. Same thing. Blockchain is not easy. It's our job to make it easy for people if we're going to get to mass adoption, right?
Right. And our goal is to basically have people in the metaverse, in the network platform, and not realize they're using crypto, but use crypto. Mm-hmm. So we're planning for a seamless, intuitive UI. And yeah, that's the whole challenge, is creating something that is based around the function and not the technology. And yeah, very important point, and one of our more exciting focuses.
Yeah, and that brings me back again. I just want to reiterate. So the concept of being able to go from parcel to parcel and play different games in different parcels, can the same parcel have multiple games on it? Like, can we have one parcel that's literally like a Sims game, where a Sims style game where you can have like DDR over here, real strategy game over here, WoW auction house over here? Can you do multiple games on one parcel?
Right. So, yes. Excuse my dogs.
That's okay. Mine were popping off not too long ago. This is a dog-friendly stream, Dan. We're all good. I've been sipping on my foo-foo drink all stream, so you're good.
Oh, awesome, man. You're the best. So, yeah. So yes, basically, the way to think about it is there'll be portals. So if you want to have multiple games on your land, that's achieved by portals, and you can go into the portal, and that'll launch an instance of the game. So you're not limited by physical dimensions. You know, you don't have to have the land be as big as what you're designing. You actually can, if that's part of the element you're trying to achieve, but it's not a requirement. So you're not constrained by physical size there.
Wow, that's impressive. So I guess what we have are all the different land sizes. They're all outlined pretty much on NetVrk socials, ChainBoost, ChainGuardians socials as well, that outline all the different sizes of land and the land available through the ChainBoost land presale. But can you talk about, besides just having sheer more land, is there anything in place, specifically any benefits to having different sizes of lands?
Yeah, definitely. So the bigger the land, the more revenue share and the more weight in governance you achieve. So obviously, the size is the variable, and then the number of land is the variable. So if you own a bunch of, say, 10 standards or one medium and one large, then yeah, it all gets tabulated and it becomes a weight for your governance and your revenue share.
Perfect. So we can confirm that size does matter here. Good. Awesome. That being
Yeah,
said,
in this platform, yeah, Epic is supreme for sure.
good,
Epic is
good.
supreme. Yeah.
Awesome. So the three pillars of crypto in general being security, scalability, decentralization. Can you briefly touch on each of those pillars relative to users that are excited about NetVrk, and go from there?
Yeah, so you want me to focus on the pillars of security, decentralization, and
Scalability.
scalability? Yes. So yeah, that's the biggest, scalability is the biggest issue to deal with when you're dealing
Yep.
with the metaverse. You have so many users, so many objects, assets, NFTs. You know, and the map is like, I believe it's somewhere around 50 kilometers by 50 kilometers. So if you look at the size of, say, Grand Theft Auto, right?
Mm-hmm.
Grand Theft Auto 5, you're talking about, it's actually a bigger map than that. So it's a big scale. And thankfully, technology has advanced, so we're able to address those scaling issues. So yeah, scaling is number one in the metaverse, definitely.
Perfect.
Decentralization. Decentralization is unique, like with the metaverse. Right now, it seems all metaverses are limited by server solutions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So most games are using something like Amazon Web Services or some other centralized server. So starting out, that's kind of like where the technology is for everybody. That's where we'll have to start. But there are some technologies on the horizon that will actually allow for decentralized servers to be used. So it could be truly decentralized in that sense.
That's brilliant. And there's a good question around that. It's two pronged. The first part of that question, to piggyback off of what you're saying, is Genesis Island, this initial Genesis sale. Is the world set to expand, or is this going to be a finite resource? If it's going to expand, what are the benefits to getting in now versus getting in once the world expands?
Yeah, so very good question, by the way. So the metaverse for Genesis Island it's going to be a metaverse that will no longer have any more parcels created, minted. It's done. It's set at 15,000 parcels. That'll never change. That's static, max cap. That's it. In the future, obviously, once this metaverse is developed, we might look at creating other metaverses. But you know, for the short to medium term, our focus is on Genesis Island and getting it built and you know, popping. We want to get it popping before looking at other spaces.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So just to take a step back, look at it from a gamer's perspective. Do you have to own land to go into NetVrk, or can you go into NetVrk and experience the different games, hang out, etc., without owning land?
Yeah, so you don't need to be a landowner to participate to access the platform. It's free to play, so anyone can access the platform, free to play. You know, you do need network tokens to play the games, to play to experience the experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you will be able to access it for free, but a lot of the benefits come with, you know, having tokens, having NFTs, owning land. So yeah,
Perfect. Dan, that's a great question. I feel like we skip over this sometimes. Where can people find NetVrk token, and what is the utility for NetVrk's token?
right. So right now you can only find it on Uniswap, but we will be announcing a tier one central exchange very, very soon, imminent.
Alpha alert.
Alpha alert. So yeah, brace yourselves. That's coming down the pike, right? Very, very, very soon.
Wow. You
Yeah.
know your spike's gonna.
So
This is an exclusive to the 69 viewers we have right now. Alpha alert. Tier
no,
1 coming soon.
yeah. So I'm sure everyone who watches this afterwards will by that time, this central exchange will be announced, and we'll
Oh,
see,
wow.
right? But
Oh,
anyways,
wow.
yeah. Anyways, utility
Congratulations, by
wise,
the way. That's so the tier one people don't realize how difficult it is to be listed on tier one exchanges. So congratulations there, Dan.
oh
That's
yeah.
that's a huge milestone. I mean, it takes I don't know about kind of what the process was for NetVrk, but typical applications are very dense, like at least 25 plus pages just to look at a tier one exchange. So that is a
Yeah.
massive milestone. Congratulations to you and your team on that one.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, to answer your question, utility-wise, network token is used for the ability to create the games, to create assets, and then to experience the games and assets. So network token is used for that, and then we'll also have the ability to purchase land with network token. We'll be unveiling that. I know with ChainBoost, people do have the ability to buy land with network token. So that's
Mm-hmm.
very exciting. We love, that ChainBoost has this technology to allow our native token to be used, and you actually get a 5% discount for utilizing network token.
That's brilliant. So, not financial
Yep,
advice, but NetVrk token, Uniswap tier one coming soon. Do your own research.
exactly. Yep.
Awesome, man. I was going to ask, do you want to share any alpha with the community before we get to the community questions? But I don't know if you can get any more alpha than tier one coming soon. So I'll let you decide if you want to share anything else.
Yeah, I'll try to beat it. I'll try to beat it.
Oh, what?
So,
Okay, all right.
yeah.
Good luck to you, man.
So some concepts we're going to be revealing soon include something called the network reserve. And everybody's heard of the Federal Reserve. We've got the network reserve, and more details will be announced on that. But basically, it's going to have details relating to the revenue share for landowners and deal with tokens that are taken in from the land sale.
Mm-hmm.
It will be the custodian of these tokens. So it'll be really fun to announce the details of how that works in with the land ownership and revenue share portion.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, a lot more details on that. But that's kind of like a teaser of what's coming down the pike. And
Wow.
yeah, yeah. And we have our liquidity program, which we'll be announcing I'd say probably tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone likes providing liquidity, we'll have a nice large reward pool that people can participate in if they provide liquidity on Uniswap. So yeah, that'll be announced, I believe, tomorrow. So that's exciting as well.
Ooh, you guys got a lot of things in the works there, Dan. Working hard, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Working hard, and it's a beautiful summer, but yeah, it's definitely worth it's definitely worth it to get things done. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. I agree. It's I just recently moved. As we were talking about, Dan, I was trying to get my setup all squared away like 2 seconds before because I literally just moved into my new house, and I'm looking outside. What a gorgeous day!
Congrats. Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it. But I'm sitting here looking outside, looking at how beautiful outside is, and then I'm like, oh, but I work in blockchain, so maybe I'll get to see a little bit of sunlight at the end of the night, right?
Yeah. Yeah. My dream is
Oh,
to have like an outside office, like in a greenhouse or something. That way I could be outside but still like working. But I don't know.
well, hey, you can
Uh,
draft up the model in NetVrk, right?
there you go. There you go. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move to the community questions. These are really important because obviously each question we pick is going to get $20 worth of NetVrk token. So let's move that direction and get some community questions going. And Dan, do you have chat open, or would you like me to kind of filter through these questions for you, bud?
Yeah, I could open up chat and see. Actually, no,
Awesome.
if you wanna filter through them, that'd probably be the best, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I can certainly
Yeah.
do that for you. We'll give it a couple minutes here, a couple seconds here for some of these questions to start rolling in. In the meanwhile, Dan, do you live in a temperate, I guess, a temperate type of climate enough to be able to have an outdoor office, or is it a little ambitious for you?
Yeah, that would be a definite challenge in the winter. Cold winters, it's not something I work, but yeah, I love nature like you.
Mhm.
Your background is very inspiring.
Yeah, not everyone knows my background, so they just know cushy government job. At least that's where I come from. Oh, my background
I know
background.
your actual,
Yeah, my actual
yeah, I know
background.
your actual background. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, no.
There you go.
We'll have to get some squirrels on trees wherever you decide to set up.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Sweet. So let's start looking through. I have a couple good questions here. Let's see here. Kaio Din asks, could you share about the upcoming roadmap for your project and your ambition? Public IDO, which your token's live. NFT release time. Is there any vesting schedule with this presale? I think is what they're getting at. Gameplay. When is gameplay set to go live soon? And partners. So a lot of things to unpack there. I guess
Wow.
we'll start with the vesting question: is private sale land vested? And then we'll move towards when is gameplay set to go live, and then partners if you can top it off with that.
Sure. Yeah, lots of questions in that question. So yeah, it will be vested for 2 months. MVP will be released by end of year. Um, Partners, we have so many partners. You can go to our website, NetVrk, netvrk.co, and see our many partners. I believe we have over 50 already. So we have such great partners, including ChainGuardians, and yeah, we really want to, and we're looking at partners in different spaces. We're not just looking at partners in the gaming space, because that's kind of like the obvious thing, right? So we're always working with partners like Elrond is a new recent partner, and the Elrond headquarters is actually going to be really cool. So looking forward to seeing that in the metaverse. And beyond just like the surface level, we also want to integrate their technology, partners' technology in the metaverse. We're not just creating virtual headquarters for all these partners. We're bringing them into the metaverse. So that's very important.
hmm That's critical. I don't think people
Yeah.
realize. Well, I shouldn't say that because that might come across as speculation. But Elrond is one of my favorite projects to work with because their team is so incredibly intellectual, and what they're doing is as equally ambitious as NetVrk and ChainGuardians within its respective chain-oriented type of industry. Right? Their technology is incredible, first class. ChainBoost actually just announced it being one of the first launchpad protocols compatible with a Elrond chain, which is huge. So
I
I
saw that,
am,
yes.
yeah, dude, I'm more than ecstatic to see what you guys have in store with the Elrond HQ. So maybe you can slip us some alpha at some point so we can share to our community as it's developed. But we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Next questions. We have a couple questions from David here. I'll ask, just kind of combine them. The first question being, how will NetVrk grow with VR and Metaverse as it continues to exponentially expand? And to piggyback off of that, a lot of partnerships, a lot of different chains. Is there plans to have NetVrk on different chains via bridges and different exchanges in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. As a metaverse, it would be derelict not to have different crypto chains, blockchains in the metaverse. So we'll be bridging to Polygon, BSCPad, Cardano, Elrond, Substrate, which is Polkadot, amongst others. So, I really find it to be one of the most exciting things is having a platform where, you have all these different blockchains communicating, and you have the whole interoperability aspect of it, which I think is super important. I don't get people that are just like, I mean, I get like being a fan of like a certain ecosystem or a fan of a project, but I feel like it's short-sighted to not be like, let's get everything together here. Let's make everything communicate instead of just being on one blockchain. It's if diversity was ever like something that was needed in the space, it definitely in the crypto sphere is needed. Each blockchain really brings something different to the table. So we want to take advantage of that.
That's brilliant. Love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. So
Yeah.
let's look at. I'm just gonna browse through a couple more questions. We got bombarded with a bunch of really high quality questions here. So
Wow.
let's see here. Jilly asks a pretty interesting question. Will you be able to open any type of storefront selling physical products in the metaverse, in the NetVrk metaverse, that can be paid? I'm guessing he's referring to NetVrk that can be paid with NetVrk tokens.
Yeah, 100%. So, as I touched upon, our big focus is business, e-commerce. So the idea is you'll be able to open a storefront, you'll be able to purchase an NFT, and at first this will be, limited just to NFTs, like say entering an art gallery and then purchasing an art NFT. Um, but that will lead to NFTs for products, right?
Mm-hmm.
Long-term vision is you buy an NFT, you get product fulfillment, and we really believe that's where the e-commerce space is headed. I personally think, like in a couple of years, you won't be able to buy a car without having an NFT involved in the process.
Oh.
And I mean, if you think about it, like really think about it, guys, it makes perfect sense. With an NFT, you have a transaction record, you have history, ownership history,
Mm-hmm.
and you can have warranty information linked to it. So it's really perfect. You're not having to rely on like third-party services for a lot of these things. It's really like a great way for e-commerce to really take advantage of this technology. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. The plan is to have storefronts where you have NFTs that have product fulfillment behind them. And we might see like big players like Shopify implementing it. There still hasn't been like a clear move in the whole space for that, but we're already seeing companies already building towards that. So I think it'll come sooner than you think.
Brilliant. Love to hear it, man.
Yep.
Your vision is limitless, truly. I mean, there's no cap with what you can do with this metaverse, as you can apply a lot of traditional concepts into the metaverse and then expand even more so because you're not dealing with traditional restraints of visions, etc. I'm going to take the opportunity here to piggyback off that question. Husasi, I believe is his name. I apologize if I got that wrong. Is asking something similar to that question. It's a good segue. If you own land, can users then build their own store and sell things, therefore collecting stuff from their land with their storefront, if that makes sense?
I feel like it's the same question. Possibly.
Yeah, so I believe the first question was metaverse related, being is NetVrk going to have a storefront for NetVrk? This question being, if you own land, can you then have your own store? But if they parallel, no big deal. We can move on to the next question. Let's
Yeah,
see
no,
here.
definitely. I think they both, yeah, yeah, absolutely. You can do both.
Okay, awesome. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So let's see here. A couple questions here regarding gaming consoles. So we'll split the rewards between Al F. Is there going to be gaming and consoles? And Morocco asked, do you plan to launch on consoles? So a lot of question around, is NetVrk going to be compatible with consoles?
Yeah, that's a tricky thing. Each console manufacturer has their own requirements, and some of them, in the current state, they don't want cryptocurrency involved.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do with children accessing consoles, and they don't want that ability or that, I guess, responsibility. So yeah, we would love to have network on consoles, but the console manufacturers have to open their door for blockchain games to come into that space.
Brilliant. Yeah, there are a lot of difficulties with getting blockchain play to earn, free to play with crypto. I guess you could say crypto aspects to some of these markets. Just whether it be legal
Right.
restrictions or legislative issues, it can be difficult to adopt. And unfortunately, that doesn't fall on projects, right? Because I know NetVrk probably shares the same opinion, but if we could get on all these different platforms without there being possibly, complicating the, I guess you could say the legal element of things, we would do it. And I'm sure you guys are on a similar situation, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a new frontier, so
Right.
it'll be changing, but yeah, still some growing pains along the way for sure.
Awesome, man. So last question here by Dockside GB. How about if you want to rent or buy lands and then wanted to be more of a landlord role? So basically, can you buy
Right.
land and then rent it out for royalties, stores, etc.?
Yeah, 100%. That's built into the model. Now, what we're going to be unveiling is a program that allows people to rent their land without having any risk. So, like a lot of you can relate, like in the early days of crypto, which is just a couple years ago, you have to go to forums to do like OTs, over the counter deals,
Hmm.
make private deals to buy NFTs or coins. So it's been kind of like a loose space, but we were going to have a mechanism where people can actually rent or lease their land to third parties without having to give up ownership. So just like Axie Infinity, this is the best example. Axie Infinity has their scholarship program, which
Hmm.
allows people to utilize other people's NFTs without having to actually own it, and you don't have any risk if you're doing the scholarship program.
Right.
So we're going to have a similar mechanism that allows people to rent or lease their land without having that risk of somebody taking off with their NFTs.
Brilliant. That's so
Yeah,
smart. I mean, I think that that's again, it goes back to the traditional concepts. You own the asset, should be able to rent it out. And now you guys are adding that kind of that security measure to prevent users from malicious smart contract activity, etc. Love to hear
right.
it, man. Love to hear it. Do you have any closing thoughts for the community here? It's been a very active community, very strong throughout the whole live stream here. You shared a lot of really amazing things, elements to what NetVrk's doing. Shared some alpha in the possible tier one, some other stuff coming with the NetVrk reserve. It's been a really action-packed, info-filled type of live stream here. But is there anything else you want to add before we close it off for today?
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Ben. I love being on the show, and thank you for your help here. Sorry, we got a little background interference.
I was gonna say, it looks like someone's already moving their NFTs in the real world to get something set up and build on that land.
There you go. But yeah, no, thank you for hosting us. Love the Chain Guardians community. Love ChainBoost. You guys have done so much with that platform in such a small amount of time. And there's, not to dig on anyone else, any other launch pads, but there's other launch pads that have been existing for a lot longer, and they're nowhere near the tech you guys have. So pretty impressed. Love that we're part of it, and very excited to have our sale. When is the sale, Ben?
Yeah, so round one opens up on the 27th. Round two opens up on the 28th. Round three opens up on the 29th. It's tiered based off of boost score. All this information you can find on chainboost.com or chainboost.io and navigate to the NetVrk project page. But basically, the more involved you are in the Chain Guardians ecosystem, that determines what round you can get in if you have to KYC and express interest. But all those questions, head over to Chain Guardians, Chain Boost, social medias, Telegram, Twitter, Discord. And then please, 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 please don't forget to follow Dan and his amazing project being NetVrk because they're doing a lot of incredible things. And I guess that really, really defines you've watched this live stream. You stayed till the end. Don't miss out. Go follow our social medias. Dan, where can they find you? Where's the best places that you guys are going to propagate information for community members?
Yeah. Go to NetVrk.co. You can see our link on the bottom for Twitter, Telegram, Discord, as well as Reddit. But yeah, we're most active on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. And we're going to have lots of great contests. So make sure you join, subscribe, especially with Telegram announcements. We have I think it's 3 to 4 to 5 announcements a day. Lots of opportunities to get in the land sale. So yeah, just make sure if you want to participate in the ChainBoost sale, there is a deadline today. So make sure you don't miss it.
Yep.
And yeah, sale will be in a few days. So looking forward to seeing the community buying their land and getting the ChainBoost community and the ChainGuardians community in the metaverse.
Yeah, actually, just a heads up there for the community members, we've extended the registration deadline till the 26th, just because we wanted to allow a little bit more time after we did the live stream for people to actually register. So you can register until the 26th. It closes at 8 p.m. PDT, Pacific Standard Time, which is UTC -7. So if you're interested, everything Dan, his amazing project, NetVrk, is doing to change the industry, head over to chainboost.io. Navigate as appropriate. Again, KYC is open to everyone. We make it pretty simple. Dan, what an honor, man. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you being here. It's so easy to talk to you about this because not only are ChainBoost working with NetVrk, but I'm a fan of what you guys are doing. So it's so easy and exciting to be able to just have the conversation with you, man.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thank you so much. Love being on the show. You're a great interviewer, and look forward to coming back.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we'll definitely have you guys back for a follow-up. I think the community would be for that. Everyone have a wonderful day. As always, stay tuned for what Dan, ChainGuardians, ChainBoost, NetVrk are all have coming up next, and have a wonderful day.
Awesome. Thank you.
市街の隅で
づける
憎しみや恨みを生んでしまうのかもしれない正解のない世界に苦しんでそれでも受け止め我らは叫ばなければいけないと心がうついて思い描いた自由への勝利に僕のエゴであろう君の願いであろうそれがなめる部分までと悔いなくなれることがいつの日かできな信じたのは一輪の花
触れてくれてその時に
あがいてもがいてまみれのようにだけども恋の中にわずか輝くそれをその手に掴み取り勝ち取るためには
また立ち上がる
思い描いた自由への勝利的な僕の血肉となり君の魂となりそれを固めることはあれと悔いなくなれることがいつの日か的な明日探せが大輪の花永遠の中で掴んだ未来を注がれた光の雨瞳に映ったこの世界を守るため立ち向かうそれは心も痩せがせたいろんな糸が市街の隅でまた霞み始めてる決意揺らぎそうでも閉ざされた空その鍵を壊せばそう握られた刃はまだ持て余されて加速する共鳴が言霊を脈打たせてくあがと注がれた光の雨瞳に映ったこの世界を守るため あらゆる感情が混ざり合ってただ濁るだけ故に乾き声を荒げたそれこそが人らしいのだと誰かが語り聞かせただけどそうしていく生息さえ忘れいつか答え出さなければいけないこともわかるのに一人乾きの見つめを立て答えは探し求めて白にも黒にも染まれない助けてただからまさか選ばずにかけた居場所へとたどり着くため誰かの理想のため誰かの笑顔のため涙を流してる人がいる何かの
緊密には何かの対立がすね止まろうなんてこと分かっているからだけど
大層なものじゃないすごなものではないかもしれないけど心がうついてる思い描いた自由への象形僕の血肉となり君の魂となりそれを眺めることはと食い合うなれぬことはいつの日か敵の足さ探せや大輪の花追いかけ
この味が誰かのこと傷つける
憎しみや恨みを生んでしまうのかもしれない正解のない世界に苦しんでそれでも受け止め我らは叫ばなければいけないんだ心がうついてる思い描いた自由への象形僕の意図であろう君の願いであろうそれが 閉ざされた空その